jewels on it. Who want it?
All right, everybody. Welcome to the first TheRideTV podcast. I want to welcome my first guests on the podcast, Steve and Cory from Trackerdie. Welcome, guys.
What's up, guys?
What's up?
I just want to address this right away that this is the first podcast. I want to thank you guys for watching. I know I said I would do this probably, I think what I say, like August I started talking about this.
Actually, forever ago.
Yeah, a long time ago. I put it on Instagram and everything, and a bunch of people have hit me up asking me about it because there's been other ones that have started since. And it's just been hard. I work a regular job.
It's our fault.
These guys work a job. I've been trying to get them in here.
It's Steve's fault, actually.
Yeah. I wanted them first because they were the first people to be on the vlog. So I wanted you guys to be the first one on the
Fuck
podcast.
Steve for having a family.
Yeah.
Kids,
ruining everything.
Making new ones. You know.
So hopefully this goes well and we can get more guests on here. So, you know, it's cool. A bunch of people hit me up and like, oh, you guys said you're going to start the podcast and a bunch of other ones now. I'm like, cares? And like everybody should be doing as much as they can, you know what I mean? I'm all for it. So
Trackerdie podcast.
You guys should start one. Do it. I'm for anybody doing as much because I love doing shit like this. So you know, this is just for me. This is side shit. TheRideTV is completely like a side thing. I have a really busy. I work on a podcast already. And it's super busy, the stuff I have to do for that. So it's hard to find time to be able to do the TheRideTV stuff and my normal job. So it's definitely a balance. And I want to thank you guys for watching and being part of the TheRideTV. And you guys too.
Thanks, man.
You guys have been around the beginning
man.
supporting.
Yeah.
So
We try and help you out with how much you break your fucking bike
which is a lot.
every day.
Yes.
Every
it's
week.
unbelievable how much I break.
Every day might be a stretch, but every week is not. It is
Every
literally
other
there.
day is not a stretch. It's
Yeah. It's like, it's probably, I got it a couple weeks on, 3 months off.
Yep.
Just straight up.
Yep.
Yep. So
Currently in pieces.
yeah, it's currently in pieces again. All right, so let's just get started. The way this podcast is going to be, I'm going to try to do mostly interview style stuff with as many people that I can get on here. So we're going to start with you guys. And who are you and where you're from? What are you guys? What is Trackerdie? Why don't you give me a quick bio?
Looking at me.
you take the lead.
Well,
I'll
I
come
guess-
in strong on the end.
where do you want to start? A little bit about us? A
Yeah,
little bit about
what is
Trackerdie? What do you wanna
Trackerdie?
do?
Let everybody know who doesn't know what Trackerdie is. What is Trackerdie?
Well, Trackerdie it was started with a friend of ours a while back, doing specifically tracker parts, and it's become a hell of a lot more than that, to the point where I don't even know, we don't even really do trackers anymore. It's more Dyna parts and Sportster parts, and I don't know, that part kind of fell by the wayside to an extent, to where now, you know, we do more of your standard like Dyna, like wheelie guys, doing a lot of baggers lately. I mean, really, we'll do anything that comes through the door. We're not picky, you know what I mean?
But you
as
just
far
really
as
expanded from just being specifically tracker bikes to any type of bike.
Both
really.
of us have grown up in like this scene and grew up in the motorcycle world, and you know, we have no bias towards anything except if it's not a fucking Harley. It's too much of a pain in the ass to work on.
I mean, I've seen some bikes at your shop that weren't Harleys.
Yeah, they're a nightmare, let me tell you.
And they sit
Yeah,
a little bit.
But I mean, we both grew up in this, you know, and we just really have a passion for working on motorcycles and doing what we do, and we'll do anything that comes through the door, really. I mean, fuck, dude, we've done some wild shit in the past couple of years that aren't just trackers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Don't let the name fool you, you know?
Yeah. So what are you guys working on now? Anything specific you guys on?
You name it,
Besides
we're
my
working on
bike?
it.
Where should I start? How long you got?
Yeah, I know, right? So what are your plans with Trackerdie? Like, what is the direction you guys are trying to move in, and like what is the image you guys are trying to portray to people and stuff like that?
I'd say we the lines along we're going is kind of what we're intending to do. I mean, 2018, we're planning to step things up to a certain extent. Steve and I just found out the other day we got approved for our new building.
Yep.
Slight down the way, about double at least the size of what we're in right now. So we're trying to get more on the events and doing more with people, rides and, you know, bike nights and this, that, and the other, and really trying to get like more of a community going down where we're at, because there's so many people in that area that really have always wanted to do stuff with us and that have always asked us when we're going to do this and do that and do this and do that. And like with the way our shop is set up, it never really worked. So now going into 2018, mid-January into February, we're moving in a new spot and getting that set up to where we feel comfortable bringing people in and showing them what we're doing and showing them, what we have going on. And a lot of this year is going to be a lot of that. Trying to do fun shit, man.
Nice. So how did you guys get into motorcycles and shit like that?
For me, my dad put me on an XR70 when I was about 6. And he'd always had Harleys and he had dirt bikes and it was very off-road oriented like my growing up. So I raced moto until I was, I want to say 17, 18. I had to get a real job and had to be responsible, sold both my bikes, got out of that for a while. Everyone's going to say that they didn't, but I had a fucking Honda on the street at one point. Everybody starts there, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Shit's lame, but fuck, I did it, And I had one of those, moved on to a Sportster. I grew up with a mechanical background. I didn't go to school for any of this shit. I learned as I went. My dad taught me a lot. So I always had the do-it-yourself mentality and just ran with it. And I ended up doing my own thing when I was introduced through a good friend of ours to Steve. And Steve was helping another friend of ours with some projects that got overwhelming for him. So Steve and I stepped in and took over the project. And fuck, here we are. As far
What's funny is literally everything you said about your upbringing and getting into motorcycles, complete opposite. So, weird story about me. My dad is a stuntman. Grew up around dirt bikes, but never had my own. So
His dad's MacGyver.
yeah, my dad was the stunt double for MacGyver.
Really?
Yeah,
For real?
You don't see the resemblance?
yeah.
I've never known. That's a real thing?
That's real.
I've never known that.
Real
That's
shit.
real.
That's cool.
Yeah, for real. But
Amongst other things, but mainly MacGyver.
I used to watch that show when I was little.
yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah.
So
I didn't. It was a little bit out of my era, but
Yeah, I'm old.
yeah, so I grew up, my dad doing wheelies up our street, and I'm like, Dad, when are we going to get me a dirt bike? And he's like, you save up the money for the gear, I'll buy you a dirt bike. Well, it never happened, whatever. It wasn't that big of a deal. So I would try to jump on whatever I could, and always took stuff apart. I was always like, kind of the MacGyver mentality, like take stuff apart, build something. And then, I don't know, I saw, funny thing, I was watching TV, MMI commercial came on, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go to motorcycle school. So I went, and yeah, and then, I don't know, I've been in a ton of shops, probably 6, 7,
tell him about the good one.
8.
Tell him.
What?
Tell him about your claim to fame, dog.
I used to work at West Coast Choppers.
That was one of the questions on my list here, and I was going to ask you about that. Like, what was it like working at West Coast Choppers and stuff like that?
Honestly, so when I got out of school, didn't really know what I wanted to do. Knew I wanted to, I don't know. I had a bunch of different ideas in my head. Like, even at school, they ask you what you want to do, and I was like, honestly, I don't know.
You're like,
we'll just see where I end up. So
Most of those motherfuckers don't even end up working on motorcycles
No,
after they get out.
I have a bunch of friends that one guy went back to the oil fields, and he's like, I can't make $12 an hour,
I had a friend that went there in Florida, and they went back when I lived in Massachusetts. Went back to Massachusetts, started working for like a cable company or something right away.
Yeah.
Most people don't.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, when I started, it was $10 an hour, and I was doing all the grunt work, and it was just not
At Harley.
It was whatever. Yeah, at Harley.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, so I worked at Harley. I quit Harley because it was ridiculous. And one of the guys that I work with, he owned a West Coast Chopper, and I had never seen one. So he rode up on it. I'm like, what the heck is this?
Yeah.
And I wasn't really into that style, but I was like, this thing's crazy. Like, it's all, really well made, and just, I don't know. At that time, it was like crazy performance parts that you did not see on your typical chopper or whatever.
Yeah.
So I asked him, I'm like, hey, like, do you have any ins in there? Like, can you get me in the door? And he was like, oh, yeah, let me make a call. And then it was like a week I had my job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was rad. But anyway, what I was going to say is I owe everything, like where I'm at today, what I know, everything from that place, because it was like taking the best of every aspect of that world,
And just being involved.
putting them all in one building.
And just learning so much, just watching people.
I could walk over and watch Hot Dog paint. I'd sit and watch him paint for hours.
Yeah.
And and just seeing all the
for those of you who don't know, he paints all San Diego Customs bikes now and fucking crushes it.
Yeah, amazing.
His paint's amazing. Yeah,
he does more than just that, but that's what most of you will recognize his work on, and he fucking kills it.
Yeah, he's awesome. But everybody I know now is all from West Coast Choppers. So.
Started from back there.
It's crazy how many people that we deal with on a relatively normal basis that were working there at some point or another.
Yeah.
I can imagine.
Everybody.
I can imagine. I mean, out here in California, I mean, I grew up on the East Coast, so seeing it, I saw that stuff on TV. That's how I knew about all that stuff.
Oh,
and
you
it
guys
just
had, what's his face? Fucking, what's those? Tuttles, dog. Those were your guys' boys over there.
Yeah, that wasn't quite in my area, but you know. But you know, seeing that stuff, I can imagine. I mean, that's all you really. I mean, I know there was other things going on, but like that was what you saw the most of. So I can imagine there was just such a big hub out here for that. I mean,
I wasn't even down here in that era. I moved down here. About 6-7 years ago.
Because you're from Reno, right?
Yeah.
And where were you originally from?
I'm originally from like Santa Clarita, the Valley. I was born in Van Nuys, so
Okay.
But so I didn't, Steve's a little bit older than I am, so he was working there when I was in fucking high school.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? I came down here after that fucking
That
was
whole craze.
way gone.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So Steve's been doing this a lot longer, and in a professional sense, he's been doing this a lot longer than I have. We've been doing it for a similar amount of time. Just he's been actually wrenching on the things. We got a fucking 7-year difference between us. So he's been doing it in a professional aspect for significantly longer than I have. But it's still fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can imagine. And then that's right. Now, what happened, with that? Because he packed up, went to Austin, or was that was that towards the end of it? And then
it was towards the end, yeah. And I was at the tail end of that whole deal.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I boomerang back there a couple times just because of having kids, and I was driving from Santa Clarita to Long Beach every day, and it was ridiculous. But yeah, I boomerang back a couple times, and then the last time we had a big meeting and just got laid off. So he wanted to go his own route. So I went in, shook his hand and said thank you for the opportunity, whatever. And he's like, hey man, it's nothing against you. He's like, I'm just tired of everybody being able to have a piece of what I've built on something that I don't like. And he's like, I'm done. I'm done with it. So it was all good, left. And he's like, if there's anything else, anything down the line, I'll give you a call. He's like, I always like having you around.
Mm-hmm.
You got a lot of talent, whatever. So hearing that from Jesse it was cool.
Yeah.
So
he's a cool
send
dude.
us some guns.
Huh? I know.
Yeah,
hey,
let's get some
Jesse,
guns. Those guns are nice.
If you're listening, I mean,
let's
one
get
of
some
those
guns.
Let's get some
Damascus
guns.
guns, they're tight.
For sure.
Were you ever on the show on TV or anything like that?
No, I was way
after that stuff.
Yeah, that was all like all the Motorcycle Mania stuff. That was all 3 years before I even showed up.
I know everyone's dying to know. He did meet Sandra Bullock.
Yeah, I did.
Oh yeah, because it was his wife at the time, right? Yeah, and
Super nice.
Didn't they live in Long Beach at the time?
Yeah,
yeah.
I think in Seal Beach.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
It's amazing.
Super nice lady.
She seems like she's probably.
Yeah,
I know everyone was thinking it.
Yeah,
I had to let him know.
I actually wasn't even thinking about that, but
Now you are.
now I am.
You're welcome.
I've thought about that before though when I first moved here. Like, oh yeah, Jesse James lives here, and Sandra Bullock probably lives here. I think because that was right in the beginning or right before they broke up or some shit like that. So, I was a young East Coaster, wide-eyed East Coaster in the West Coast.
Coming out here and experiencing everything it has to offer.
Yeah. All right. So, hold on. Let me get my fucking list of shits here. So let's just keep on moving here. So I wanted to ask you guys. There's a lot of some of these questions though are from probably a couple months ago.
Tight. I like it.
So like the one
we can
like,
build on it. It's fine.
Yeah,
like the new Harley models is probably not such a hot topic anymore.
Hated them. Kind of like them now.
Really?
Yeah.
Still ugly. Kind of like them though.
Yeah. I like them.
I mean,
I don't give a fuck.
I rode it. They're rad.
Yeah, it's fun to ride.
So-
I like just like riding bikes. I don't give a fuck,
On the
honestly.
real. Fuck the Dyna Softail things. Whatever. Y'all can have those. I'm trying to buy a 2018 Road Glide. Sign me up.
That's what I'm talking about. Now, everybody's like the Dino Wave. It's a couple of years. I see a lot of dudes that were on the Dino Wave starting to look at the baggers. So
Everyone's realizing that baggers are fucking dope.
Yeah, I think they are, because I want a fucking road glide. I want a road glide for a daily.
tight.
Yeah, so bad. I want one.
They're
But
awesome.
so what do you think? What do you think about like the direction of the sport and this whole like dyno wheelie thing, Sportster tracker thing, and
Dude, I don't know. I'm surprised it got as big as it did, if to be honest.
I am too, honestly. Yeah, it's kind of a little.
Social media is crazy,
It's
man.
a very niche thing. So
It would have never gotten that way if it wasn't for social media. So
No, I
social
agree.
media is fucking
Yeah.
nuts.
Yeah.
You know? But it's hard to say what's going to happen with it because I don't think anyone ever expected it to get to the point that it's at. You know what I mean?
yeah, it's
I
hard
think
to
everyone's
say.
surprised.
What do you think about the whole scene as it is now, like with kids getting like sponsorships and
It's fucking crazy.
it's weird, right? I feel like a lot of companies are it's weird for me because I've been in the BMX kind of industry, and it's like the same kind of idea, like you ride for a company and get sponsored.
See,
and,
but on
and
that
whatever.
aspect, it's the same shit as like it was for me growing up racing moto.
Yeah.
It's like now it's different. I'm not saying the people that are sponsored suck, not by any means.
No.
But like it's more about how much Instagram weight you carry rather than your actual talent nowadays.
I would-
in my opinion.
I
It
mean,
used to
I would
be
agree
like-
that. I would agree with that.
It used to be like riding motocross. Like if you weren't fucking winning races, you weren't good. If you weren't the top of your fucking shit, you weren't getting things. Like,
Yep.
you had to be fucking good.
You had to be good.
And now if you post like a creative fucking video and you're able to get some people some sales, which like I'm not hating on it. We use that, you know.
Yeah.
It is what it is. But it's a lot more media based, marketing based than it is talent based nowadays. And it's more about like for anybody who's watching and wants to do that shit, you need to be good. Like you obviously need to know what you're doing. They're not gonna just give it to anybody. But like you need to know how to fucking to an extent. But you need to know how to like carry yourself, and you need to know
Yeah.
how to push yourself out there to be able to give
I
the companies
100%
what they
agree.
need. You know what I mean? That's more about what it is now.
I 100% agree. I tell people this all the time. It's about talent, but it's more about how marketable you are. It's how you push yourself, how many followers you have and stuff like that. But I even see companies sponsoring kids that aren't that good and that don't have any followers, and it's weird to see that they just have a couple videos on Instagram and stuff like that. It should be a little more selective, in my opinion, because I see dudes that can do stuff, but just aren't as talented as other people that I know that ride. That should be getting hooked up. But at the same time, you know, if you have a big following, like it's stupid for a company not to want to sponsor you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because for them, it's marketing. You give a kid,
That's
some
essentially
free
where,
parts, and if he has a bigger following than your company does, it's like, why wouldn't you want to do that?
I mean, like back in the day, it used to be you put your money into, marketing on a fucking billboard or a fucking magazine or something, and now your marketing money goes to sending people parts.
Yeah, exactly.
Really, I mean, that's where, we don't have a fucking marketing budget, but if we did, it would go to that. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
Because I mean, like, why wouldn't you want to have the kid with 50,000 followers and getting all the views? You know what I mean? Running your parts,
Right.
than just some kid that's really good but has
mean, as
800
you know-
followers and
As you know from your other podcasts, it's fucking, dude, like, YouTube channel and social media means
it's crazy.
a fucking lot.
Yeah, it's crazy because in this motorcycle industry, people don't get it. In the other industry, it's kind of funny to tell people on the motorcycle thing, but I'm in like the hip hop industry in a way where my friend has a pretty popular podcast in the hip hop like world or whatever, and I just do filming and stuff for him and just editing and stuff like that. But just the stuff I see, it's just crazy how big people can get, and in that industry, the amount of money that they can make, it's unbelievable. Just seeing these young ass kids, and
Falling.
in the BMX industry is what I came up doing is filming BMX stuff, and that industry too. There are companies that have to sponsor kids because they have such a big they're good at riding BMX. But there are kids that are way better than riding BMX than them, but they have such a big Instagram following, such a big YouTube following. It's just like you can't not sponsor them. They have to be sponsored. They need their own signature frame because that kid has such a big following, has a bigger
People are
following
gonna buy
than
it.
most of the companies. You know what I mean? So
At the end of the day, yeah. I mean, companies who aren't gonna adapt to that model and who aren't gonna take that over aren't gonna be around.
Yeah.
For the next 10 years, because who knows what the fuck's gonna happen. This has all happened in the past
couple of years, it's happened pretty fast.
Less than 5 years that
Yeah.
this shit is like blown up the way it has.
And I've just straight up tell people, you know what I mean? Like if for me, this is a side project, but you know, a lot of companies or a lot of people in general have taken, because I've straight up told people, hey, you know, just do this, and now I'm starting to see people that are doing it, and it's taking some time, and people that are doing their own videos.
At the end of the day, it doesn't happen overnight. It's just like anything else.
And they're starting to do it, and I tell people, you know, if you're doing videos, do your videos, whatever. You might not get a lot of views.
Keep doing it,
just keep doing it, keep plugging away, because one day it might take off. You know what I mean? It might not, the results might not be there yet, but you never know what's going to happen.
And everybody sees it happen every day. All it takes is for one thing to go fucking viral, and
that's, you know,
that's it.
And for a lot of these guys, they're trying to make it, you know, a lot of these guys like you guys, you know what I mean? It's a company you could put behind some of the stuff you want to do, you know what I mean? And if just get back there and just, it's good for your company, you know what I mean? It's just gonna propel you guys and your company into it's just another way. It's free marketing, in my opinion, you know what I mean? Just get out there and then just whatever.
Well, because the nice thing about it is there's no, like, Instagram doesn't, you don't have to pay to be on Instagram. You don't have
to
do anything.
Pay to be on Instagram.
So the amount of content you can have out there is endless.
Yeah.
And that's one thing that, like, we were just talking about on the way up here, is that we need to, like, kind of step up on, is like the amount of shit that we're actually doing that's like original content for us. We do it, but we don't do it to the point where we should be. And even someone like us, we're talking about it, and we need to step our game up on that end of things. And that's one of our big things in 2018 too, is getting more of that out there, because you can grow and you can grow and you can grow, but when you know, if you're not putting out something like that, you're limiting yourself. And that's something that we've had many other things on our plate and haven't had the chance to focus. You know, it's a 2-man team with our little homie helping us, and you know, we don't always have time for all that shit. And some shit, it falls by the wayside sometimes. But one of the big things this year is that, and you know, there's gonna be a lot more stuff coming out with us, with you, with a few of our other buddies, doing a lot more filming and a lot more original stuff, and trying to do some shit to break the mold a little bit, you know? Yeah.
I mean, that's what you guys need to be doing. That's what everybody really needs to be doing if they want to stay relevant, honestly. Like, you can stay relevant as a motorcycle company or a repair shop or whatever. No problem without all that like crazy social media marketing and stuff like that. But I just think that it can really propel any company to be way bigger than it should, you know, just doing the normal.
100%.
So I'm really all for that, you know, because I'm just a video nerd. I love doing stuff like this. Obviously, I do this. I like motorcycles, and I'm like, oh, I'll just start doing video stuff with motorcycles. Why not? I got nothing else to do. You know what I mean? Like,
to do.
And look at you now.
Yeah, now we're just doing a podcast over here. So, all right. So we actually covered most of the stuff I wanted to really talk about.
Quick.
Not too bad, right?
Good.
Yeah. Yeah, you guys are good. What else you guys have anything else you guys want to say? Like what future builds or anything, or do you have any plans for the summer? What's going on?
Next big thing for us is Milwaukee. We'll be out at Mama Tried, slinging some goods, partying, hanging out, having a good time. Never miss that one. If any of you can make it. It's a fucking blast.
That's the one.
We're gonna be building a Dyna.
Yeah.
An old school Dyna, 99, first year twin cam. We got some good things in store for that. That's going to be the same, but very, very fucking different than a lot of shit that's out right now.
Yeah.
That we have some, you know, pretty good ideas and tricks up our sleeve on. We need to work out a lot of it, but there's, you know, the ball's rolling on that. Otherwise, fuck, man. Moving into this new shop, setting up the space, and we're just going to see what happens.
Now, how come you guys haven't had, like, really put too much into like a race team or anything like that to the whole tracker thing from the beginning?
No fucking time, man.
Yeah.
That's the problem.
That's the biggest thing.
Yeah.
Because guess who's going to go race? Me. Steve doesn't want to.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to get hurt. Understandable. I was doing it, and I had time, and, you know, I was making time. And then with everything on the shop end of things taken off, you know, just never had time to go do it anymore. And I really need to get, like, we were just talking with the homie Ravi who helps us out. He, you know, got a line on a bike, so I'm gonna try and get him one built, and I'm gonna try and get me one built, and at least go out and have fun. Fuck, just take some pictures. Take some
like what do you think about that whole thing? Because
it's fun.
On a personal note, I think it's fun. It's fun to ride around the track, but I don't want to sound like a dick, and everybody might get mad at me for saying this, but I think it's fucking boring as hell to watch, dude. I can't even fucking stand watching it.
I race it, and I think it's kind of,
you know what I mean? Like, everybody's all into it, and I know it's like, I know it's fun as fuck to ride it with your friends. That's awesome. But
I think as a spectator sport, it's not that fucking great. But when you're
terrible.
actually riding it,
terrible.
It's fucking
like
tight.
Sidecar racing, rad.
That's rad.
We should build one of those.
Speedway is rad.
That's
but
cool.
We should build a fucking sidecar.
Now, what do you think about all these guys? Which also another thing is fucking boring as hell to watch. The GP racing up there, the track. because that seems super fun to me.
I want to do that on an actual sport bike.
Yeah.
Like, call me, old fashioned, whatever. I think it'd be super fun on a Harley. I really want to do it on a sport bike. I would love to fucking do it on a Harley.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would, maybe when ours is done, we'll take it out there and go try it out and see how it works. But I'm not building it geared towards specifically that.
Yeah.
But I think it's fucking tight what everyone's doing and like kind of cross marketing everything and like crossover, like, all the crossovers, all the dudes ripping the canyons like a fucking sport bike. I think that shit's dope.
I think that's dope too.
Cool.
That National Motors, that dude.
Me personally, scares the fuck out of me. I don't trust those tires enough to do that. But
scary.
more
Watching
power
that
to you
dude
guys, 'cause
is
that shit's
scary,
crazy.
but it's awesome. It's like that to
fucking love
me
it.
is the best shit to watch. You know what I mean?
It's fun
And
as
all
fuck,
those
too.
East Coast guys, like the whole Harley thing. For me, the only thing that really excites me is like watching those East Coast dudes because they're just fucking ripping on the
down.
streets.
Right.
They're not ripping in a parking lot. They're not fucking training. They're just fucking out there having fun. Like that's what really got me.
that's what it's
probably
about.
into it. You know
That's
what I
what it's
mean?
about.
I'm like, damn, these dudes are just fucking ripping, and I love that shit. You know what I mean? And seeing those dudes ride the canyons and stuff like that, they're just they're just going out there ripping. They don't give a fuck. They just
Putting
there's
it out
no
there, dude. It's fucking crazy.
all risk, no reward, and I kind of like that.
Some reward.
Well, you have balls of steel and bragging rights, but
If you don't eat shit, there's a lot of reward. But if you do, but I mean, shit happens. You know what it is. But I don't know. Like, we'll see what happens when we're done with ours and how everything comes out. Maybe we'll take that fucker out to the track and see. Should have a pretty big motor in it, so it should be fast.
I want to take mine to the track. It just never runs long enough to fucking.
You might make it a lap, maybe.
Yeah.
Or something gives
that
out.
too, I'll fucking get out there and I'll fucking blow it up fucking first fucking straightaway.
Shit, it might be blown up already. Who knows?
Yeah, I know,
We haven't
probably
gone
isn't.
that far yet.
Sounds like it is from what you guys told me, so
Fuck, I hope not.
yeah, me too. All right, well, we're gonna keep it short and sweet. We're not gonna drag it out and talk about nothing unless we got anything else we want to talk about, or
I mean, if some motherfuckers want to hear us fucking come on here and talk again, we can, but
yeah, I think
we're
this is a
pretty
good.
fucking boring, so
I think this is a good start, and I think people that listen to it can give us
feedback.
some feedback of what they want to hear. Would love to have you guys back on again.
sure.
Love to any other companies or whatever hearing this would love to have you on too. So just hit me up on Instagram or whatever. And I want to thank you guys for watching. I want to thank you guys for coming out. You guys want to shout anyone out on here or nah? Fuck them.
My
Only-
dog Ravi.
Yeah, only person
What
who
up?
deserves a shout out is Ravi.
Yeah.
And my actual dog Hades,
Yeah,
she deserves
Hades
a shout out
is
too.
rad.
She holds it down in the shop on a daily.
Yeah,
So
Ravi.
I
if
love
you're
Ravi.
watching this, you're the man.
our other homies,
you know who you are.
Yeah,
You guys
who
know.
You are. Yeah.
And we don't like you that much, so we're not going to say your names.
fair
No,
enough.
I'm just kidding.
We don't got time to list them all.
All right, guys, thank you very much. And hit us up in the comments. Let me know what you want to hear, what you want to see, who you want to get on here. If you want to get someone on here, go spam their Instagram page and tell them to be on the Ride TV podcast. Love you. Bye.